Hey, welcome to another episode of Hanging with My Peeps. We've got Dar, we've got Big Wolf, and we have Trust, and you know me, Live to Explore. We are here to just examine the world through Christian eyes, and we have lots of questions that we ask. If you have questions that you want us to ask and to examine, please be sure to comment underneath here, and we will take a look at it and see if it's something that we want to do. Because there's lots of questions out there regarding Christians in the modern world, with everything going on, and we want to know what you think too. So be sure to say something down below. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hanging with My Peeps. We have James, we have Live to Explore, and we have Christian 1962. I am Miss Wolf. On today's topic, in the words I can best explain it, are we looking to a man or to God concerning Mr. Trump?
Or it could be any elected official.
It could be any elected official. However, right now,
But basically, I think it's him.
Right now,
Him.
it could be any politician.
It could be anyone.
Right
Yeah.
now,
yeah,
There are people who are going after the other one.
Yeah.
and it's just
No
it's
matter
just
what,
a
I'm going to
thing
put
of
them in office.
Well,
where
we-
do we put our faith?
yeah, well,
Because God's in control. God can control
yeah,
whoever's in office, because He's over all authority. But where are we, as people, putting our faith? Is
Yeah.
it in the flesh of man, or in the authority and power of God?
yep. Because, and I think we have a tendency as humans to do this. We want a tangible, don't we? And it really goes all the way back. And biblically speaking, you can look back to the times of Moses when they created the golden calf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right.
They didn't want, they wanted a tangible creation to worship. They didn't want to worship an intangible, all-knowing, invisible God.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Yeah,
though
it's just like when
they had all kinds of evidence, right?
it's just like when Israel decided, we want a king like all the other nations. They didn't want God as their king. They wanted a tangible person to lead them. And they rejected God as their king.
Yes.
Because God told the prophet, He said, it's not you they're rejecting me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's like, cause that's what I noticed. Like I said, I watched the RNC. I mean, I enjoyed it. I never watched any of them really, but I was kind of really hooked into watching it because I don't know. I just find this stuff very fascinating. But I just noticed that everyone that spoke pretty much, and I'm not against any of it, I'm not against anyone on there, but it's just an observation that I noticed that it seemed like everyone was kind of like putting him up on a pedestal and just saying, oh, Trump can do this, and nothing against Trump, love you Trump, love you guy, but it's kind of like he can do this and he's gonna do that and he's gonna do that, and I'm like, that's a lot.
That's a lot, and
Especially
like
when a person say they're going to save a nation. I don't believe that when an individual human being.
that's a
is
big
gonna
deal.
I
save
saw a
nation.
thing. We were talking
They can
to
put
person last night.
legislation or
They can
policies in
advise
place that can,
and put desires, yeah, and
make things better.
This is what I
for
want.
Each one of us as citizens.
Yeah.
But that individual person by
You
themselves
know,
alone,
one
is not
of the
safe.
things.
But here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line of the whole of all of it. You cannot legislate morality. A
Nope.
man's heart,
No.
a man's conscience. You cannot legislate that because you're trying to do something because man without God follows the dictates of his heart.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do what the dictates of his heart tells him to do,
Mhm.
whether it's right or whether it's wrong. good or evil, he's going to follow the dictates of his heart. So you can write all the laws you want, and you cannot legislate morality.
No, but I mean, they do try to do that.
Said,
yeah,
They try and do.
And here's the thing: if you're not following the dictates of God, there's only one other alternative.
Yep.
Your flesh. You're going to follow the dictates of God. What's right in your own eyes.
Yeah, the enemy of God. Yeah, no, the opposite. You know,
yeah, you're going to do what's right in your own eyes. Like I was talking to the guy we were talking to this guy last night, and he was saying that, you know, it's a place in New York. They have a billboard. Trump is the Messiah.
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes. No, don't do that. Okay.
See, there are people. They're worshiping in the. I've seen videos of them worshiping.
I've heard things like that, and I think that is so wrong to do. First off,
he is a man.
He is a man, and he is a very flawed man. Yes,
he was just inches away from not being here.
Yes, and like I say, he's a very flawed man.
That's why when I say I vote, I vote based upon my convictions, and I also may vote on policies and legislation.
Yeah.
Because even if I am for Trump, he only got 4 years.
He's on
right, exactly. Because that was thinking that today.
And you know, one of the things I always remember, because I wasn't heavily involved in politics until Bush Jr. was kind of when I started to pay attention, right?
And so
when Bush Jr. He ran his
you whippersnapper.
He ran. Well, I was,
I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's a kid. So no,
still wet behind the ears.
Yeah, so he went.
Baby.
When he finishes 8 years and Obama was elected, and when Obama was elected, they asked Bush, they asked him, what advice did you give to President Obama as he comes in? And he said, listen, you don't have anywhere near as much power as you think you have.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
I
even remember Clinton saying something similar like that.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah. The thing is, and this is something that when people are freaking out over their person not getting in and the opposition getting with whether you're blue or red, or whether you're left or you're right, it does not matter. What you have to remember is that this is only one person who is a very powerful person, but is still only has certain level of power.
We have to.
We have Congress. We have a judicial.
We have checks and balances.
We do.
And that's why I tell people, you're freaking out over what this person running for president said. Well, you got people in offices up under in other branches that you need to also look at, because these branches is either going to veto or pass anything that he puts out there.
Yeah.
So you gotta look at the other branches.
You have the senators.
Yeah.
You have
Congress, and then you
also have the
House of Representatives.
Exactly.
Other people.
This is where, to me, sitting there elevating somebody like Trump. I mean, again, I think we can probably all say we're probably likely to vote for Trump here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So apparently that makes me a racist, but. What does that make you guys? I have no idea. Shame on me.
Actually,
I was looking at my avatar in the picture there, and I was feeling really weird.
I love myself.
A traitor for a race. I guess that's
that's what they call you. But you know what?
There's a certain
he has double.
I'm a proud mutt, and I wear it proudly.
But Trump has double the supports from Black America as any other Republican ever. Okay.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, since the '60s. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the '60s, actually, the black vote typically was Republican. But now it's no longer. I mean, Martin Luther King voted Republican. But today it isn't. And but since then he has gained. He's over 20% polling for the black vote. And that's huge.
And it got bigger.
And they're saying that more men vote for him than women.
It's true. That is accurate. That is accurate. He says some things.
Here's the thing. Here's the issue. See, because I've seen it in a few other places that's gotten people in trouble. because the card on the table now is the race card.
Yep.
I'm not going to vote on policy. I'm not going to vote on what's best for the country, what's best for the people in the country. I'm going to vote because that's a black person running. Because
right,
black, I have to vote for them. And if it's a woman, I have to vote for a woman. No, I'm looking at, because people get mad
identity politics.
Yeah, that's identity politics in a nutshell.
When
right
Bush
there,
was running, and people got upset with me because I forget who he before Obama.
Well,
I wasn't even
before
paying
Obama. It was Bush Jr.
That's when I started.
But here's the thing.
I just started.
I made a bad choice.
See, here's the thing. Bush was talking about gun control and jobs. Mm-hmm. The other one was talking about gay marriage and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I told and people got mad. You're gonna vote for Bush? I said, yeah. I said, I don't care who gets married or not, because your marriage is not going to put food on my table, not going to help me pay my bills, not going to
politically. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
And they were like, but they need. I don't care, because that is not going to feed me. I have to get up and go to work. I have to get up and pay my bills. I got these bad habits called the electric bill, gas bill, water bill, and rent.
And liking to eat.
and loving to eat. I have those bad habits. Those are important to me. If you're not talking about how to better my life, jobs, affordable economy, because like right now, going to the grocery store is hit and miss, because you might find what you're looking for and you might not. I mean, when you can't find dog food, that is crazy.
That is high.
Yeah, luckily it hasn't hit it's been
a lot better, but
I have to go back to Trump, because up until Trump, I could afford to go to the grocery store.
Exactly.
Biden came in, Bidenomics, and they just played COVID to the hilt.
Yeah.
And the economy has never recovered.
Well, and
but the thing they started giving, because see, the thing about, I learned something, because see, they don't teach this in schools anymore.
No, they don't.
I grew up learning it's about supply and demand. I learned also that when you are printing money and put out there, the next generation has got their taxes are going to go up, because they got to pay to put that money back.
Pay it back.
They're printing money
and giving it away.
You can't buy your way out of debt. You can't spend your way out of debt, which is what I mean.
And that's what they're doing. And then the next generation coming up is going to have to put that money back. They're giving away all this money that is not there. Here, we're just go put some. But
we're spending almost as much in servicing our national debts for the interest as we're bringing in taxes. It's like we bring in something like $2.5 trillion in taxes to the federal government alone. The whole nation does. We pay like 1.7, I think I saw the other day. 1.7 trillion is our interest payments.
That is crazy.
Okay, so everything else that we need to function as a nation has to be borrowed. And I'm sorry, that's got to come eventually.
And that's the one thing that Trump said. That's one thing that when Trump was in office. See, there are those that owe us money. Trump,
and that's what Trump focused on with the foreign nations, with China.
Y'all owe us.
Getting people to pay their fair share in the UN, so that we weren't fronting all of that money.
He was trying to get the European countries to contribute to some of the things that were happening. Because they weren't paying anything.
When it comes to certain things, there are certain things that I really can't blame.
If you can't get your money in, you can't. If you can't get your money that's owed you ain't got nothing to pay out.
Exactly.
So there's certain aspects of the economy that I can't really blame 100% on the current administration, although I blame some of it on them. There are certain aspects of when we, dealing with COVID worldwide was so poorly handled.
Like
because if you think about it, they shut down so much worldwide. I'm a purchaser. Okay, I work in what's called supply chain management. Okay, so I watched things happen in a world economy that affected us here at home. Okay, it's like, and my perfect example is stainless steel. People are like, well, what's the big deal with stainless steel? Stainless steel is in like everything, right? So what happened was you had people in another country that was mining the stainless steel, or the ore. So they stopped them from mining the ore. From there on, eventually it's things got harder and harder to get a hold of. And then the prices just went up and up and up and up and up. And it got to the point where every time we would order something that was stainless steel,
it became more rare.
Yeah, we had to get quotes.
The more rare it is, the higher the price.
And
abundance, maybe the price would go down.
Exactly.
And that's what happened with the oil too.
Yeah, and this happened with the oil. This happened with all of these different goods.
You see.
Okay, microchips, all of these different goods. Shutting down the entire world is really what
chips and everything.
It just destroyed an awful lot. So when we look at the current pricing on things like the inflation, yes, I do look at the administration for part of it, but not all of it. I want to be fair to the situation because as somebody who was watching this happen and as my job, I looked at this happening. It's like we had to sit there and get quotes for materials that we bought last week and we're paying more for it this week. Because they're paying more for it this week. It was that bad, and what could you do?
But what do you think of the previous administration? I mean, the present administration blaming the previous administration for the debt.
That's standard. That's standard blame game.
But the thing is that
standard blame game.
The present administration.
I stubbed my toe.
The debt is increasing, so they're not doing anything either.
Yeah. So another thing that's happening in my life right now is we're talking about. Raises at my job, right? So I'm kind of looking at where should I be, what's going on, right? So you kind of take a look at things. It's like, where is inflation at right now? What kind of a raise should I be getting? What is the cost of living would make things balance out compared to just the cost of goods? So I look at all that. I'm looking at all that right now. So right now, our actual inflation rate, not including housing, okay, because that's a jacked up thing on its own. But they don't include they don't include that in this. Right now, it's like 3% is our inflation rate, which is really low. Okay, but bear in mind that in 2021 and 2022, it was much higher. I mean, we went through 7, 8, and 10% interest, inflation rate, and again, how much of this was caused by this whole supply and demand thing? How much
I'll tell you something.
Yeah, because COVID did shut a lot of stuff down. The production of things. People were afraid to touch anything.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you something that happened. Where I live, my rent was steady. Now I'm looking at every year my rent's going up like $15 to $20 to $30.
Oh yeah, yep.
A year.
Yep. It's just creeping on you, isn't it?
That's only $10 difference.
Yeah.
They were raising mine like $50.
And the thing of it is,
I've been hearing stuff like that.
It was years before I had a rent increase.
Yeah. I see what's happening.
Then when they started,
I don't know
when and it's basically it's not the property value that went up. It's the fact that my part, because utilities are included in my rent.
Yep, the utility cost
is rent.
But you know what else there is, and I'll give you another example here. So I bought my house that I'm in. I'm blessed that I have my house. It's one of those things I thank God for every single day. But I bought this place at the end of 2015. Okay, so this was post the 2008 crash, before before the the uptick in things, and of course before COVID. And my current mortgage, insurance, and everything, when I first bought my house, was $1,275 a month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, okay, we can do that. We can live on this. That's not bad, right?
Yeah.
So that was on a $228,000
I'm paying
house.
now.
My house's current value is almost $500,000. My property taxes have increased my mortgage by $200 a month. Just for the property taxes. So, I mean, you take that for what it's worth. I mean, obviously, yeah.
We don't have our new property tax out yet.
So exactly. So I just kind of look at
August 1st.
Yeah. So I look at that, and because I was paying the extra $100 a month in principal only for quite a while, but I don't know if I can afford to do that now because it's gone up that much. Now think about this though, because the current value of my house, I've looked it up. You check it out. Current current cost to rent my house is nearly double what I pay my mortgage, and that's I paid escrow. Okay, and again, that's mortgage, interest, taxes, insurance, all that comes out of that. So. And I couldn't afford to rent my house.
I know.
In today's market, I couldn't do it.
I mean, like looking at stuff, and I'm like, how do people even afford to rent? Because basically, you still need the first month's, last month's.
Yeah. And
like,
so
when I had my first apartment, I was paying like $300 a month.
So we're talking about
$275.
Yeah. So we're talking about
Anybody coming in now has to make 3 times what the rent is.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
3 times. Because you want to know why? Because they know they're going to be raising it.
Well, it's that.
They plan on raising it every time they renew your lease.
You pay 3 times your rent.
They're going to raise the rent,
and they're going to be raising the rent, and you have all your and they figure you have all your other bills you're paying.
New York is crazy.
Your utilities. I don't even want to talk about someplace like New York. Downtown Seattle in the region I live. Okay, doxing myself, whatever. But downtown Seattle is just, astronomically high. There's no way I don't want to live there, but
Well, Seattle is high. It was
high before.
I was there, because it was like the Richie area.
Yeah, it's always been a higher property value because you're in city. Anytime you're in a big city, if you're going to have some higher things. But getting kind of backing up to what the original topic is, we talk about people are looking at Trump as like a messiah. And he doesn't have that level of power here. Listen, folks, I want him in office because I think he's going to have a shot at righting the ship a ways. But he's not going to be able to turn it around. It's not going to go backwards.
I would hope that he would humble himself before God.
What I've heard? I have heard that since the gunshot, since that, he's actually really become more. It was an eye-opening experience for him.
He's
more chill, but he still is.
The reason, here's the reason why I have a respect for Trump, because Trump was Trump before he ever got into politics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't like most of these people that get into politics start off this one way, and then they get in here, and then they totally flip the script. They could not control him,
and that's the thing. And
the media couldn't control them.
So
the rich people behind the scenes, the oligarchs, they couldn't control them.
And they're absolutely right. They can't. They can't control. And I like that.
That's why I had the respect.
They couldn't. They couldn't blackmail him.
Yeah.
They tried everything they could.
Going for a ride.
Tried everything.
He touched his controllers.
Exactly.
So
we just gotta pray, that the Lord keeps a watch over him. But
that's why they say.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about Trump. He surrounds himself with people who do pray. You don't see that with some of the other politicians.
Some of the people. I'm gonna say that.
Here's this. But here's this. This is.
At least he has that open door, even if you don't agree with some of their,
But here's where the deception lies.
At least he's open to it. Yeah.
Here's where the deception lies.
Go for it.
Because every president that has run that I have been politically aware of, where have they ever stepped? They stepped in churches. They stepped among Christian people for the support. And people go, well, they pray. They do this. Judge a tree by its fruit.
That's
Yeah,
right, yeah.
exactly.
I just
Right.
wanna- well,
Because
he said
they
the
appear
Lord's
in
Prayer,
those places,
yeah, the
you know, just to get the
appearance
vote.
of
That's their
righteousness,
motivation,
but
just
the
to get
heart,
the vote.
but the heart,
Mhm.
but is their heart for real?
Yeah.
See, you can put it on the outside. You like I said, you know, the other night we were talking about this with some other friends, and I said they weren't like, you know, they repping the city, you know,
Mhm.
you know, yeah, Christian. No,
Mm.
do is it lip service or do you trust and live for the Lord from your heart? Because
Right.
I don't care, because there are people that sit in the church every day
Mhm.
have no relationship with Christ.
True.
Truth
You
is
know,
gonna come
they're-
out eventually.
The
Yeah.
people,
You're gonna
like I
show
said,
your
you know,
colors
like I told the
eventually.
person, I said, you know, if Jesus came in the next hour, there a lot of these people standing up here, and Jesus gonna say, "I don't know you," but did not do this and did not do this. He gonna say, "Nah, I don't know you."
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is that, you know, I look at, you know, stay realistic.
Hmm.
None of these people are perfect. They
No.
have flaws. They have issues like the rest of us.
Yeah.
The thing of it
Right.
is, what are they standing on? Well, who are they benefiting? Does it benefit
Yeah, what do
the
they stand
whole
for?
country? And
That's-
You know what?
are they-
And I
are
think
they
that's
lobbying
what
for
God
this group,
sees.
that
Even
group,
if
that
a person
group?
do have flaws, you know, and
Yeah.
when they do things wrong, they're real. Because
Yeah.
some people they're
Well,
fake. You see.
You know.
Trump has his
And-
flaws. I don't agree with everything he say and everything he does,
Yeah.
No.
but he's realistic.
Yeah.
Right.
What you see is what you get.
So
You know,
so
that's
when I
it.
consider, it's like, you know, what kind of people does God use? Well, if He uses any of us, He's using a flawed vessel. We already know that.
Exactly.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Right.
but when we look back in history of the Bible and who God used, He used
Flawed
extremely flawed people.
Flaws.
Okay, King David, my
They were
favorite character,
horrifying.
my
They were
favorite
horrific
character of the
flaws.
Bible is King David.
Right.
Okay, talk about a messed up man. You know, had an affair, fell in love with one of his,
Yeah.
Got the woman pregnant.
got her
Yeah,
pregnant,
yeah,
and
right.
tried to send her
Can you
husband
Imagine a
to get killed.
politician in this day and age doing stuff like that. He would be done. Just
No.
done.
Oh no,
Goodness.
You know?
he would only be done if he gets caught.
Well, it depends.
That's
on
how it works.
On the public, in public
But
opinion, he
yeah,
would be done.
yeah, but well,
Yeah,
you know, well, that's that, you know, for a lot of people,
public
that's
opinion has
Opinion is
totally
it's getting
changed.
flawed.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and you know,
It's
you know,
already-
It's the things
Sending
that
a person
flip-flop.
to their death,
yeah,
Honey,
they would be
things have
they would be
changed. I
done.
don't-
It changed
Yeah.
so much it wouldn't
as far
even be.
as the
They would
moral,
talk that
moral
way.
calendar,
Yeah.
the more
They
the
might
moral
not care too much
compass
about
has
the
gone.
affairs.
Hey, anybody
Sure
remember
But
Ted
sending a person
Kennedy?
to their death.
Anybody
Yep.
remember Ted Kennedy?
I remember the Kennedys. Yeah.
Remember,
yeah.
remember that car
You remember
accident he
Clinton?
got into?
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
that poor girl died drowning in the water.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, we heard
Okay.
about that.
Did his political career stop?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
It went.
It just kept going.
Under the,
You know,
It
and
kept
if
going,
so if you're powerful enough, I mean, they, you know,
so if
they,
it happened then,
Yeah, but there was a lot of people on his case though.
true.
Even though-
But-
I mean, it's gonna be people. You know, you do something. I mean,
Well, people
you
are gonna
do
say something.
You're gonna have people on your
Yeah.
case, even if you do the right thing.
Yep.
yeah.
And
You're
so,
gonna have people on your
you
case.
know,
So
there's a lot of people out there that I know that, I mean, because I live in a very, liberal area. Okay. My particular town isn't, but it doesn't take, you don't have to travel much closer to Seattle to start to encounter a lot more liberal attitudes. And you hear a lot of people that just, and it is predominantly women who don't like Trump because of things he said in the past. The grab him by the comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which is the primary one that they'll often
And that
talk
was
about.
then,
Talk about.
yeah, that was-
And I'll be
yeah,
like,
there-
okay, first off, no, that was a bad thing to say. Okay, I can't argue that.
Yeah.
That's
but you're
obviously.
taking something.
And I think they're
but
probably also
that's
upset
the
about
thing.
attacking
But the
certain
thing-
women's images, like calling them fat and ugly, things
Yeah.
like
But
that.
here's
Only
the
Rosie
thing.
O'Donnell.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
The same people that
Some women can
complaining
get
about.
really
But
triggered,
here's the
fat and
thing.
ugly.
But here, because I'm a realist person. You upset because this person said it, but you do the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do the same thing. You
Yeah,
see
and
a
that's
man,
what
you
you-
see a
that's
fine
the
guy
whole
walking
realistic
down the
thing
street.
about it.
Because you know what, I've heard how women talk.
And if you see a woman that doesn't fit what a woman should look like, you're gonna put her down. Men and women do the same.
Oh yeah,
thing.
The same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what this man did, he's human.
He did it. Yep.
He
He,
did-
did it in that time. Like
He
this
did
is
A in that
thing,
time,
too.
B
It's-
in that
things
environment.
happen-
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
That was in that time, and things have
should he have said it? Probably
things
not.
changed.
No.
Okay.
He shouldn't have said it. That's why I
He
say I
shouldn't
don't
have said
agree
it.
with everything he's saying.
I don't
does.
have to agree with everything he says.
I don't agree with it, but that you know,
But
like
that was the time. That was
and
the time
thing
then.
of-
Everything
and-
was.
and-
Yeah.
That was his
He's
conversation.
human.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know how when you are in the world, you just do stuff.
You
say
know,
stuff that
you
regret
you
yourself.
know what you
And I
have
can
is
look back, I can look back at things I said and did
yeah,
that I regret.
exactly.
Yeah,
Oh
but
my
here's
gosh.
the thing, you know, and
I-
like I said,
I'm
you know,
electable for nothing.
His conversation. If everybody's
I can't get elected
was
dog
recorded,
catcher.
If everybody's conversation was recorded at a period of time, we
Yeah.
would say something that offends somebody.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
if
I think that's why when people leave this world and they stand before God and everything is exposed, their own shame and guilt is going to condemn them.
yep.
Right. Because here's the thing, you know, like I said, you know, when it comes being realistic about it, everything he shows his human side. He is a human being. He is not a Messiah. He is not a God.
Exactly.
He is not all powerful. He is not any of these things. But people are looking at him like he's got all this awesome power. You know?
Power and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. I mean,
Definitely.
have you heard some of the
Like-
things that his opponents are trying to say he'll do? Like he has the ability to do these things. Oh, he's going to be shipping all of the gay people to an island, and you know, and he's going to take all the trans people, and he's going to just dump them in the ocean.
He's going to send all of the immigrants back.
Yeah.
How is he going to?
How are you going to do
When
that?
he ran the first time. Remember when he ran the first time?
Hmm?
He's going to send all the black people back to Africa.
Yeah, and someone even going so
He
far
gonna
to
put
say,
you back
"You're
in
gonna put him back in
chains,
jail."
Well, yeah. Biden
I'm like-
saying that.
And they're still saying that one.
Oh
They're
yeah,
still saying that one.
it'll put you back in chains.
Yeah, and the big thing now is that far right so-called documents they have the
The Project 2025 thing.
2025 nonsense.
Which
you know that.
I mean, listen. First
far
off,
right stuff.
you know, that particular group and a few others put out a document every single year, and some of it's okay, some of it's off the wall,
you know, when you
some of
look
it's
at it,
nuts.
you don't-
And but some of the things that they claim is in there, holy cow!
Yeah,
I
but
actually
the thing
heard-
is, Trump isn't claiming any of it publicly. So why are they constantly
Yeah,
harping on it?
because because they you know because I think they're kind of
That's how
they
that's
roll.
how it all
I
works.
actually
That's
had
the
I
thing.
actually heard
Yeah,
somebody.
all about
through history.
gaslighting
See, the thing
and
of-
propaganda.
Here's the thing. All through history.
We need a liberal in here.
You get the story. You get the story. This.
They need to defend themselves.
This country says
Actually, we need
everybody
four of
has a narrative. This country, because if you look out through history, because I love history, and you want to understand when you read an event that took place, this group of people here says it went down like this. It's like the story of I call it the king that lost his army.
Mm-hmm.
Historian, the event that took place, the Bible says an angel came down and destroyed the army. There's a historian that was in Egypt. He wrote about the event that took place. Yes, the event did take place. The army, he said, well, rats came in and ate up the weaponry. Another historian writes of the event that they got sick.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own interpretation.
Right. And that's the thing. Throughout history, words are going to be played.
Yep.
You know, and
so
is what I'm going to say something that's going to make me look good to make you look bad.
Yeah.
And that's why the Bible talks about deception, because that's what it is. Depending on where you're at and what your thoughts are and what
this deception.
what you
And
stand
I see
for.
this
like,
whole campaign. They're using more of that, more and more. And
it's a lot.
seem to be
It's
that
a lot
they're
of
using
Well,
that more and more.
you know,
this
and-
time.
There's
and
only
now-
one truth.
You know, remember
There's only one
also.
truth, so-
I mean,
Well, not in this world. You know, my
You know-
truth, your truth, whose truth.
Yeah,
everybody's truth.
exactly.
yeah. Well, I mean, and it's going to get harder and harder and harder too.
Yeah,
It's going to be harder to determine what's truth, what isn't.
What's the
Because I mean, there's already AI stuff out there that can make.
Everyone's saying he's wearing.
Yeah, they can make.
Biden
They
had a
can take
mask
your
on
face.
and-
Yeah,
They can steal your voice, your vocals.
They can steal your voice. They can put different words in
already do.
and they can already do a certain amount of that. Fortunately, there are still a lot of markers that they can find to say that's AI generated. And whether it might be something like inflections in voice, the natural tones, or something in the, something in the facial features to look for. I mean, but there's a lot of stuff to look for now. But the further down the road we go, with this, it's going to be harder and harder. And
I'm going to say this on what you just said. We're looking at events now, but there are things that are coming.
Yeah.
They're coming. There's nothing going to stop it. I don't care who's in office. I don't care who's in power. I don't care. It's coming.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is that, we're having this conversation. But here's the end of all. Where will you stand in that time?
Yep.
Yeah.
That day. Are you going to stand with God and follow God? Or
are you going to take the mark?
Are you going? Yes. Or are you going to follow this man? Because he's going to put some. Because we were studying it last night. God's going to get quiet for a minute. He's going to let this great delusion happen.
Yeah.
And you're going to fall
a lot of people
for
gonna
the
fall
lie.
for it.
Yeah.
You're going to fall for the lie.
Because it's going to look like it's for the good,
Yeah.
I mean,
but
if you put a chip in somebody, you can track everything. They'll have the idea, that's going to, make you
I can go to the store. I don't have all my
and
they can track anybody
and
anywhere.
That's already going. And it's already going.
Or if your kids
already
get
doing
kidnapped, at least they'll have the chip in their arm. They won't be kidnapped anymore.
Yeah.
They'll make it all seem you're like a
good.
They'll still,
beneficiary,
and it'll be step by step by step by step.
Look
by
what's
step.
been going on already.
That's the process. Because we're already we're already in the birth pains.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the birth pains. What comes after the birth pains? The labor pains. When we get through this process that's coming, you're looking to people to that you think are going to benefit you, make your life better. But at the end of the day, it's God in control through everything, all the ups and downs, through all the politicians and through everybody that's got up here, kiss babies and all that stuff, and tell the best lie. The bottom line is, it's been God that's provided for me. Even when I didn't deserve it, and I never deserve it, but He's always been there. And the thing of it is that here's the line right here. What side are you going to be on? Because it's God that protects and keeps us. Man fails us every time.
And that's why
you keep following. And, you look to a man if he's going to be in leadership. You see him in that you respect the position because that's the position that God created. God created all authorities. The thing of it is that you still have to look to God to guide this man's heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
not the technology. Not the technology that's going to do it. Because even if you have that technology, it's still the human flaw.
It's still the human flaw.
And I was thinking too that it's like, okay, and I think, it's just me, but I think God sent us Biden because we weren't recognizing him at all for anything. So he said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna shake things up. This is how I just look. I'm gonna shake it up.
No, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring that up
because
because
it's so weird how he came about.
Because God does.
I'm still don't have an exclamation.
God places people in it. God places the authority figures above.
We don't even have a real explanation as to why he left.
No, we don't. You're right. We don't. We have theories. We have ideas.
It's the whole of the
He said COVID, but
I think too. But I'm looking at it like, okay, so we had things good for 4 years, and then we weren't recognizing God, so God said, okay.
Maybe they were looking at Trump too much.
And then it's like, here we go again. Now it's like, are people gonna recognize me this time,
Nope.
or are
No.
they gonna let
You see,
things
this
go
is like
back?
it concerns me
It goes
because
back
it seems
further
like
than
me that anything
it
can
goes
happen.
back
you know?
further.
They-
It goes
they
back
can.
further
I'm wondering
than
how the
Biden
present
and
administration
Trump.
got there. So
Yeah, we love
I'm kind
pomp
of
and
concerned that
circumstance
you
and
Well,
know,
stuff. We
you know,
so and so might wind up in there
But-
instead
you know,
of Trump.
but-
well,
but
yeah,
wait a
but
minute,
you
wait a
know-
minute, wait a minute. It goes back further because when we see, it goes back to the 60s when we started removing God out of everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you remove God, guess what? You know, the Bible says, you know, the people mourn
when they
the,
when
when the ruler is wicked. The
when they
people
codified
rejoice.
the separation of church and state, right? And they did it the wrong way. They
Exactly.
did it in the sense that
The way they did it is
they
an
were trying.
impossible way
You know,
to
what
do it.
they did was they were trying to protect the state from influence of the church. When in actuality, the whole concept is we're trying to protect the church from being influenced by the state.
State. Yeah.
But
Okay,
somebody
so
twisted.
and if you read the letters of Dansbury, which is where that whole concept came from. Okay, this is the wall of separation between church and state was not to protect the state from the religion. It was to protect the
Yeah.
religion
This
from the
religion from
state.
And you know why they did that? Because
And
it
how
goes
did that
back
work
even-
during COVID?
I'll tell you something. It goes back further than that
They tried to
because
shut
when
down
this
the
country was founded, you got to look at the reason why the people came here. It wasn't the colonized and all of that.
Nope.
When they came here, you know what they were running from? If you were in Europe, whichever king came in power, whatever religion he was,
Yeah.
that was the religion of
Yeah.
the state.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
had
and there was persecution
Protestant-
from anybody who
Right,
didn't agree with them.
right.
You
And
did
they
not
were
have
run-
the
they were
freedom.
Right, you didn't have the freedom.
Yeah.
Whoever's in power, that's where the people had to go. If the
Yep.
king was Catholic, then everybody, you got to be Catholic. If you're not Catholic, you're going to be persecuted. If the king was Protestant, if you were not Protestant, then the Catholics got persecuted. It was no freedom. People got up out of there because they got tired of living in, okay, this king coming up, because that's why they always had wars going back and forth, because they were like, okay, this king here ain't for us. He's not for all the people.
Yeah.
The one that came close was Elizabeth.
Yep.
But she did it in a way where, to keep peace, she tried not to acknowledge either side. And the thing of it is, everybody, all those rulers, those different countries, people were like, okay, we don't know how this is going. We got to get up out of here. There's a new country. We're going there. People left, and they came here, and they started there because for years, when this country was established, you couldn't be Catholic in this country
Yeah.
and hold office. You could not be. There was a
Yeah,
time
it
that
was all-
Muslims could not come in this. There's on the books that Muslims couldn't come to this country. So we have grown a lot, but there are people that keep wanting to take 10 steps backwards.
There's a movie. There's a movie, a documentary with Kirk Cameron about some settlers that came here escaping persecution. They ended up in Boston. I have to see if I can find it. I think I tried to run it in Altspace, but yeah, it was really good. The stuff that they went through just to be able to to worship God. Yeah, and it's like there's like a monument in Boston too. And I don't know, they might have taken it down or scrubbed it out or something like that. But I'll have to see if I can find it. But it was really, really good. And I'll share it with you. Just what you're talking about.
These are half of the things. See, when I was in school, we learned. They got us started in learning. They gave us a percentage of in our books of history, and it made, okay, who's this person that they're talking about? And that's what got me started in reading. I had encyclopedia. I mean, my mother had me signed up for all the, because I read. I love history. Got it easy now. I wish we had the technology that we have now when I was a kid, because you can research everything now. And as I tell people, look, go to facts and learn how this process came to be. Learn about all this different stuff, and please stop getting your education off of social media.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Right?
Memes do not tell you the news.
You have to do a whole lot of research.
Yeah, because I see people.
Because if you just look at something at one glance, you
Yeah,
can
I look at some people take somebody posts and
because
history,
technology
and
can
they
be used for good, it can be used for evil. I see
I mean,
people
like
take
looking at
clips
stuff
of
like
someone's
searching up
speech.
Oh, yeah.
They take little clips off it out of context and they post it.
Yeah, exactly.
They do that to Trump and they do it also to Biden.
Oh yeah.
They do it both
Yeah,
ways.
that's
I've
the
been doing, like,
political
image
machine.
search and
That's
stuff
the political
sometimes.
machine
Crazy,
working right there. And that's one of the big things is that we're going.
But I'm back.
There's a huge machine out there that wants, that wants this, and doesn't want that. And right now, in this case, the machine is, and it is clearly against Trump. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And who I can't remember his name, and I should have looked it up because I was talking to somebody else about it. The leader of the World Economic Forum, that German guy.
Oh yeah, he stepped down.
And
Klaus Schwab.
Yeah. So, and he stated just last week that. Okay.
Oh, it's almost time.
That's almost time. No, I heard a door and I was like, wait a second, what is that? It's my wife. Okay. So, but Klaus Schwab stated that if Trump gets reelected, it'll be the end of them, of the World Economic Forum.
Probably would.
And
he pulled this out. He pulled this out before.
And my attitude is, okay. Personally, all right, I got no problem with that.
Because
that's why they hate him so much. That's
why.
Because he. One of the reasons why they hate
him.
Because it became the one thing that
you can take care of yourself, Valerie. Get back over there.
I agree
Please.
with him on is take care of home. Let's get home cleaned up. Let's get home back straight.
Valerie, I'm clearly doing something else. I can't just get up and move.
Because see, everybody thinks America is in everything. No, America gets called on for a lot of stuff. They call anybody got a problem, they call us. Well, we try to stay out of enough. There's been many awards we try to stay out of. Mm-hmm. And. Yeah, you're our ally. We'll give you. We don't want to get in your war, but here we'll send you a little help that way. But we're not getting in it, and it gets to the point where they do something to put us in it. Now you getting in this, and the thing about it, and people don't understand how this stuff works, and they won't sit down and dig into facts.
Well,
the thing of it is facts are offensive nowadays.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's about how I feel, what I think.
But there's things that happen.
Emotion.
There's things that happen behind the scenes that we don't understand until you start digging into it. The information's there if you want to look it up.
Yeah.
Things like why do we give so much foreign aid?
Yeah.
Why do we do? There's a reason behind
especially
it.
When
it isn't just to be nice.
Dollars in debt.
It isn't just and I understand.
It's you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
It's more than that. It's more than
deeper than that.
It is way deeper than that. It is way deeper than that. We give so much in foreign. We give so much in foreign aid in order to make the dollar the primary used currency in the world.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay,
That's
out there.
That's why we do it. Why do we not drill more oil here in the U.S.?
Because they're trying to get the oil from other countries.
Why?
That was their purpose.
Why?
So they can keep the dollar bill rolling around in there.
You're close. You're part way there. You're part way there.
I like the drill bit.
I like that too. However, there is a reason behind using their oil. Okay, and if you think from the point of view of a political animal, it kind of makes sense. We're using up all of their oil. We're using that oil up. When that oil is gone, who's going to have oil?
United States.
We are.
And what kind of power does
If
that
it
make
lasts
us?
that long, though.
If it lasts that long. And
Well,
what
that would
kind
make
of
us very
what kind of
powerful.
power does that
But
make
then
us?
again, how long is the United States going to last?
I'm with you there too.
Yeah.
I'm with you there too.
I have all the
You know,
toys.
We've
and
had
you have to do what I say.
we've had over about 250 over
See, and that's the problem
years
with
of,
that.
you know.
If they're trying to, they do that to them.
No, and
it's going to affect everybody.
it
You can't
will.
escape it.
I'm just saying
in time.
Yeah,
in time.
I'm just saying that this is. You have to examine why things are happening to help understand. I don't
because
like
there's
giving
more
all
to it
that
than
money
you-
away to
than meets
foreign
the
aid.
eye. There's more to it than
I'm
you think.
gonna say this.
You
I'm gonna
see.
say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Here is where all that kind of comes to a head. It is the fact that you notice one thing that's not in prophecy is this country.
Nope.
There are things that I have
Right.
seen. There are things that I have that I I have seen, and I'm still asking the Lord questions about. And that is, and he told me, years before 9/11, I told people this. I said, it's not going to be what's coming in that's going to destroy this country. It's going to be destroyed from
Yep.
the
It's
inside.
inside out.
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
And
Yeah.
and I
see it
see it in the process.
The founding
is
fathers said that
happening.
very thing.
And the way things looking now, I'm very concerned that what's going to happen to this country.
No,
I'm not
and
concerned.
I'm wondering whether or not I should go to another country.
at
this point,
it's the thing is,
Here's the
that's the problem. Well, it's
But
You
here's
go on
the
the
thing, here's the
Serengeti
thing.
or something.
Here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is all part of God's process. We should,
Yeah.
as children of God,
Mhm.
Jesus said, "Don't fear."
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't have to
No.
run from anything.
no.
Because we're trusting in God, who is our protector, our keeper, our guide, and instructor.
Mhm.
He told us these things were going
It's
to
gonna happen.
happen.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
not a
Yeah,
shock.
yeah,
It's
he
not a
put him-
shock.
It's not.
It's just
there's
kind of
no need-
crazy just
because
to
here's
watch
the
it
thing.
happen, though. That's
But
my
the thing
thing.
of
It's
it
like,
is
wow.
that what we see, what the Lord reveals to us and lets us see, it's to warn the world out here that hey, there is a dividing line, and that line is getting thicker and taller.
And thicker,
You're
yeah.
gonna have to make the choice and the decision what side of that fence you're gonna be on, because when it comes push come to shove, you're either gonna fall for the great lie,
Things are
and
getting
deception.
separated.
Mhm.
or you're gonna
Things are
are
separated.
you gonna turn
I
to
think the
God.
damage is
Ooh.
It looks
But
to
the
me
thing
like
of
the damage is done.
But here's the thing: it's getting there. Like I said, we're in the birth pains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
The end of the
that's
birth
an
pain.
accurate
But the thing
that's
of
an
it-
accurate way to look at it. I mean,
And the thing
none
of it
will
is,
know.
you're gonna have to make the choice, because here's the thing: we have these conversations,
Mhm.
and it's the thing of what God is letting us see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are not to fear these things that are happening, because Jesus told us these things were going to happen.
True.
In His Word, He said these things are going to happen. What we are to do is we got to put the choice to the people. Hey, look, you want to be equipped. God is preparing us, His people, for what's coming. We have to tell the world, hey, you're either going to be here
Here
or
you're gonna
here.
be there.
The choice is yours. It's either you're
And
going to
it's-
trust in the work in the work that Jesus did to redeem you, or you're going to pay the cost for yourself. But either way it goes,
Yep.
every knee
And
is
I-
going to bow. Every knee is going to.
And there's something I have to do too, because sometimes I find myself like when I'm on like Facebook or something like that, and I'm trying to like tell someone, a naysayer or one of the people that are like laughing or the laughing emoji, I find myself like really like trying to like deal with this person,
And that's
because
not
it's
the,
like, hey,
and
and a
that's-
part of it, and I have to back up.
you do.
I realize I have to back up because there is a wide road, and I figured I'm at it now. It's just something in me where it's like,
people
like,
just
one of the
can't-
things you have to
can't get
remember.
You know,
But
tell
I
people
know
you can
that
only
there's-
pray.
When we minister
you
in
can
here,
pray for him,
people you
but
can't
trying
reach.
to debate
when
with him.
minister, I learned I learned something. The Lord had this, because I used to get offended.
Mm.
And the Lord said, they're not mocking you, they're mocking me. Don't take it personal.
Yeah, I don't.
And at the end of the day, and like I was talking to a young man last night.
Yeah.
I was talking to a young man last night. He went into a room, an atheist room. And he said, how do I I'm trying to tell these people about Jesus. I said, number one, you can't go into their environment and start pointing your finger at them. I said, that's not how Jesus worked. I said, you have to understand why a person believes. Just the same questions they ask us. Why do you believe what you believe?
Exactly. Yeah.
And have an answer. Ask them that same question, because there are a lot of people that for a lot of reasons they've lost faith.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
And you have to
not
understand.
only did Jesus, have the words, he had the demonstration, he had the power.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And we have to walk in that example. We are to be imitators of Christ. We don't go around going, you're going to hell, and
That's not gonna work.
And we don't argue with people, because whenever they want to
go.
But have a reason why you believe.
I don't argue with people, because I was talking with a man last night, and this other guy was there trying to stir up the pot. Me and this man respect each other's beliefs. We didn't get disrespectful. We didn't get derogatory. We had a conversation. I understood and respected what he believed. He understood and respected what I believed, and we left it at that. Wasn't trying to convince nobody of this, that, and the other.
That's actually a really good subject for another week.
But here's the thing.
Yeah. Because
here's the thing.
He's got to get ready to go.
We got to wrap up.
Okay, but can I end it on this?
Yeah.
People, think about this. If your hope and your trust is in a human being, flesh or blood, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be hurt. But if your trust is in God, who's over everything, and your faith is in Jesus Christ, whoever's in power, whoever's in authority, it's not going to.
Valerie, you are not getting into the recliner right now,
because you know where your hope lies.
I don't know what you're trying to get into in that closet. Please stop.
You threw it all. So think about these things. That's all I'm saying is think about it and question your heart.
Yep.
And carry us out, Miss Wolf, because we got
to go.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. I hope this conversation blesses you, and I pray that the Lord reveals himself to you and opens your heart to who he is and gives you peace in these trying times.
Until next
time. Thank you. Till next time. Thank you.
Bye.
All right.